I was rejected 3 times and wasted 50,000 pesos on visa applications until I found out there are 7 European countries Filipinos can enter visa-free in 2026. No paperwork, no waiting, no stress. Travel agencies don't tell you this, but some countries actually want Filipinos there. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly where you can go, how long you can stay, and the one mistake that could ruin everything. Country number 1, Albania. First up, Albania. And no, I'm not kidding. This hidden gem gives Filipinos 90 days of visa-free access. 3 full months. Picture this. You're standing on the Albanian Riviera, crystal clear turquoise waters that rival anything you've seen in Boracay or Palawan. Medieval castles straight out of Game of Thrones. And here's the kicker. Your money goes 3 to 4 times further than in Western Europe. What you need: valid Philippine passport, at least 3 months validity, return ticket, proof of accommodation. That's it. Real talk. This is where you can actually live the European dream without breaking the bank. Coffee costs €1. A full meal, 5 to 7 euros. Your OFW salary? It feels like you're royalty here. But here's what no one tells you about Albania. You can use it as your base. Explore neighboring countries on day trips. I'll explain how in a second. Country number 2, Bosnia and Herzegovina. Next, Bosnia and Herzegovina. And this one hits different emotionally. You know that feeling when you visit Intramuros? That sense of history, of stories etched into every stone? Multiply that by 100. Sarajevo will break your heart and heal it in the same afternoon. The visa-free deal. 90 days within 6 months. Same basic requirements, but here's the beautiful part. The Bosnian people understand struggle. They understand what it means to rebuild. And when they see Filipino tourists, there's this instant connection. We're both nations that know how to smile through hardship. Pro tip: visit during winter for skiing. Yes, skiing in Europe, visa-free, or summer for the food festivals. Either way, your 5,000 peso budget will last you a full week. Try doing that in France. Country number 3, Montenegro. Number 3 will blow your mind. Montenegro. Imagine if Switzerland and the Mediterranean had a baby, and that baby was affordable. That's Montenegro. Here's why this matters for you. You've seen those Instagram photos of Santorini, right? The dramatic cliffs, the azure waters, the charming old towns. Montenegro has all of that, minus the crowds, minus the €200 per night hotels, minus the visa stress. What they want from you: Philippine passport, 6 months validity, proof of funds, about €50 a day, that's 3,000 euros. Return ticket, reality check. I stayed in a beautiful apartment overlooking Kotor Bay for €25 a night. That's 1,500 pesos. In Italy, you'd pay 10 times that for half the view. The emotional payoff? You'll sit at a waterfront cafe, sipping local wine that costs less than Manila prices, watching the sunset over medieval fortresses, and you'll think, I can't believe this is real, and I can't believe it was this easy. Country number 4, Kosovo. Now, Kosovo, the youngest country in Europe, and honestly, the most underrated. Full transparency, this isn't on most people's radar. That's exactly why you should go. The deal? 90 days visa-free. One of the cheapest destinations in Europe. English widely spoken. Seriously, better than some Western European countries. But here's the real reason I'm telling you about Kosovo. These are people who declared independence in 2008. They're building something new, creating their own identity. Sound familiar to anyone who's worked abroad, sent money home, and dreamed of building a better future? The energy there is electric, young, hopeful. You'll meet locals who'll invite you for coffee and end up being friends for life. Try getting that reception in Paris. Practical magic. Your 10,000 bauks can cover accommodation, food, and experiences for a full week. That's not a travel hack, that's a miracle. Country number 5, Serbia. Serbia gives Filipinos 90 days visa-free, and it's wildly underrated. Belgrade has some of the best nightlife in Europe, with floating river clubs on the Danube where drinks are cheap and the vibe is electric. Food is incredible. Cevapi, pljeskavica, burek, big portions, local prices, 0 tourist markups. Serbia also has a growing Filipino community, so you'll feel welcomed fast. People are warm, generous, and genuinely kind. You'll be treated like family, not just a tourist. Budget-wise, 2,000 to 2,500 pesos per day covers nice accommodation, food, transport, and nightlife. Don't just stay in Belgrade. Visit Novi Sad, Nice, or the mountains for nature. Country number 6, North Macedonia. North Macedonia, and yes, the name changed recently, so if your parents ask, that's why it sounds unfamiliar. Now, close your eyes and picture this. You're sitting by Lake Ohrid, one of the oldest and deepest lakes in Europe, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The water is crystal clear. Monasteries over 1,000 years old are carved into the cliffs, and the sun is setting over the Albanian Alps. You're at a small family restaurant by the water. Fresh trout caught that morning, homemade bread, local wine. Total bill? 10 euros, about 600 pesos. In Boracay, you'd pay 2,000 pesos for frozen fish and a worse view. The visa-free deal. 90 days, simple entry requirements, perfect Balkans hub. Greece is right next door. Ohrid, the Jerusalem of the Balkans. 365 churches, some from the 9th century. You can walk in freely. No lines, no entrance fees, no tourist chaos like in Rome or Paris. Just you, ancient frescoes, and history. Skopje, the strangest, coolest capital. Over 130 statues in the city center. Massive, dramatic, and a little crazy. Then you step into the old bazaar with narrow Ottoman streets, tea houses, and the smell of fresh baklava. A normal day in Skopje costs around 1,400 pesos total for coffee, meals, museums, and a night out. Cheaper than brunch in BGC. Canyon Matka, 30 minutes from Skopje. Emerald water, steep cliffs, medieval monasteries. Kayak for 300 pesos. Boat to Vrelo Cave for 200 pesos. This is where locals go on weekends, not tourists. The food. Tavche gravche, Ivar, walnut rakia, and shopska salad. Simple, cheap, and unforgettable. Why Filipinos will love it. Life is slow. People talk. Families are close. Hospitality is sacred. It feels like provincial Philippines, but with medieval castles. Smart travel base. From here, you can easily visit Greece, Serbia, Albania, Kosovo, and Bulgaria without moving hotels. 1 week budget, about 18,800 pesos total. Less than one night in some Makati hotels. North Macedonia is where you stop rushing, start feeling, and remember why you travel in the first place. Country number 7, Georgia. 90 days, extended to 1 year for some. And now, the grand finale, Georgia. Not the US state, the country between Europe and Asia. Here's the insane part. While most countries give Filipinos 90 days visa-free, Georgia can give up to 1 year in some cases. Let that sink in. Other countries say visit. Georgia says stay, build a life. What this means? You could work remotely from Georgia for a year, live in Tbilisi for around 30,000 pesos a month, less than many condos in Manila. This isn't just tourism. This is living abroad, visa-free. The 1-year visa explained. Important. Regular tourists, 90 days visa-free. Extended stay, up to 1 year, for remote workers or freelancers, students, people with business or property interests in Georgia. Georgia actively wants digital nomads, and they've made the process simple. Living in Tbilisi, real numbers. 30,000 pesos a month can get you studio in Old Town, 15,000 to 20,000 pesos. 1 bedroom in good area, 20,000 to 25,000 pesos. Modern apartment with view, 25,000 to 30,000 pesos. Monthly living costs, roughly 35,000 to 45,000 total for a very comfortable life. In Manila, that barely covers rent. In Tbilisi, you live well and still travel on weekends. The cultural experience. Why Georgia is different. The Supra tradition. Massive feast tables, endless dishes, and a tamada, toastmaster. Strangers are treated like honored guests. This isn't a paid tourist show. This is real Georgian life. Wine culture. Georgia has made wine for 8,000 years. A great bottle costs 400 to 600. The same quality would be 3,000 to 5,000 in Manila. Food you'll never forget. Khachapuri, cheese bread from heaven, 200 to 300. Kinkali, soup dumplings, 15 to 20 each. Churchkela, Georgian Snickers, 80 to 100. Tbilisi experience, old town streets, colorful balconies, sulfur baths, 300 pounds. Cable car to Narikala Fortress, 60 pounds. And Fabrika, a hub for digital nomads. Nightlife is world-class and very affordable. A Filipino nurse told me she finally felt like she was living, not just surviving, earning Manila salary, spending Georgia prices, making friends from all over the world. That's what Georgia offers. Kazbegi, mountains, hiking, guest houses, about 1,500 pesos per day. Batumi, Black Sea beaches, about 2,000 pesos per day. Signagi, wine region, tours, 800 to 1,200 pesos. Digital nomad community, co-working spaces, meetups, hiking groups. You won't be alone. Winter in Georgia, skiing in Gudari or Mestia. Day pass, 1,500 pesos. Equipment, 800 pesos. Accommodation, 1,200 pesos per night. Way cheaper than Switzerland or Japan. Requirements: passport, 6 months validity. Proof of funds, approximate 50 euros per day. Return ticket, travel insurance, recommended. Georgia basically says, welcome. Stay as long as you want. These countries are not Schengen. You can't freely go to France or Germany from here. Border officers can still deny entry if you lack funds, return ticket, or accommodation proof. Always have travel insurance, accessible funds, and printed bookings. Don't overstay or work illegally. Respect the privilege. So here's the truth they don't tell you in those expensive travel seminars. Europe isn't just for the rich. It isn't just for Americans or Europeans. It's for dreamers, for hard-working Filipinos who deserve to see the world without jumping through impossible hoops. These 7 countries, Albania, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Montenegro, Kosovo, Serbia, North Macedonia, and Georgia, they're not just visa-free destinations. They're proof that the world is more accessible than they want you to believe. You know what breaks my heart? I meet so many Filipinos who've given up on travel, who've saved 100,000 pesos for that Europe trip, applied for a Schengen visa, got rejected, and lost all that money, who now think Europe isn't for people like us. But that's a lie. These countries are literally saying, we want you here. Come. No visa games, no proving yourself, just come. Your dreams of walking through European streets, they're valid. Your hope of experiencing different cultures, it's achievable. That voice in your head saying, maybe someday is 2026, someday is now. The real reason this matters. This isn't just about tourism. This is about dignity. Every time you apply for a visa and get rejected, they're telling you, we don't trust you. We think you're going to overstay. We think you're not good enough. These 7 countries, they're saying the opposite. We trust Filipinos. We want Filipino tourists. We value Filipino culture. Come visit. Stay 90 days. Stay a year. You're welcome here. Europe isn't just for the rich. These 7 countries, Albania, Bosnia, Montenegro, Kosovo, Serbia, North Macedonia, and Georgia, prove that. Too many Filipinos give up after a Schengen rejection. But these countries are saying, we want you here. A 2-week trip can cost 40,000 to 60,000 pesos, similar to Palawan, but in Europe.